Hi everybody, Papaschu here. Welcome to the forest. Today we've got a 2 times ancient shard pull to do, and we've got a couple of counts to do it on. Um, Probably anywhere from 30 to 40 something shards in each account. And let me go ahead and get my screen shared, and we'll get started. All right, here we are. We're going to start on Papa Shoe. I've got a few things on my daily stuff to do. Just kind of get some things out of the way. And I'm pretty sure on one of my accounts I've got some over 900 gems, so I can gather up another 11. All right, here we go. We're going to get started. And we've got 73 to start with on this account. I didn't know I had that many. All right. Well, the first thing we want to do, we've also got a progressive chance, and we've got several legendaries to choose from. We've got Talina Soul Seer. She's got a speed aura for all battles, 19%. Your typical nondescript all battles aura. Her passive increases all allies' turn meters by 2% whenever a poison debuff is activated on an enemy. If there's multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. This skill will not activate on duplicate copies of this champion if this particular champion is dead. Decreases enemies' crit rate by 5% and crit damage by 10% for each poison debuff on them. The effect does not work against bosses. A3, we have Quell the Darkness, attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places a 50% increase accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns. Also has a 75% chance of increasing the cooldowns while enemies' skills by 2 turns. And if I said decreasing, I meant increasing. So she kind of locks out a little bit if you got a 75% chance of that. And the chance goes up to 100% if fully booked. On the A2, I see your evil attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 3 turns. Then increases all allies' turn meters by 20%. Damage is based on attack. And of course, once booked, you've got greater damage. Cooldown goes down to 3, and the chance to buff goes up to 100%. On the A1, attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of instantly activating 1 tick of 2 poison debuffs on the target. Instantly activates 1 tick of all poison debuff on the target if the target has any of their skills on cooldown. And the Hagaba, the Nest Maid, is another option here. She's Dark Elves, HP champion. She has a HP aura in all battles with a passive of this champion is immune to HP burn and bomb debuffs and will not receive any damage from HP burn debuffs. Whenever an enemy tries to place a stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear, or petrification debuff on this champion, or increase the cooldown of their skills, places a bomb debuff on that enemy that detonates after one turn. These debuffs will ignore any block debuff buffs. Okay, so that's actually sounds like something to use against what is his name? Pelos. I got him on the A3. Steals all buffs from all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing a bomb debuff on all enemies that detonates after 2 turns. Will place a bomb debuff that detonate after 1 turn instead against enemies with no buffs. A2 attacks all enemies, instantly detonates all bomb debuffs, and activates 1 tick of all HP burn debuffs on all enemies. Has a 75 to 100% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. Damages based on HP. Attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of placing HP burn debuff for 2 turns, then places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Actually, this a lot of people have been skipping this on the they're skipping this champion on the fusion. I think the fusion's over now. I mean, that looks like a pretty good champ. May use that one. Then we have Varkos, Head Splitter. He's a Dark Elf defense champion. He has no aura. His passive has a 15% chance to join an attack whenever an ally attacks an enemy. So, and the chance increases to 25% when an ally from the Dark Elf faction attacks. Not a very high chance of doing it, but he may do it once in a while. Enemies killed by this champion whenever they counterattack or join in an ally attack cannot be revived. So he blocks revives. And on his A3, Brutish Dominance places a 60% increased defense buff, a counterattack buff, and a 15% shatter buff on this champion for 3 turns. No attack, just placing the buffs. On the A2, attacks 1 enemy 2 times, will ignore block damage and shield buffs. Whenever this champion teams up with an ally to attack an enemy, they will use this skill when joining an ally attack, will attack 3 times instead. So he uses A2. And then on his A1, attacks 1 enemy 2 times, will ignore unkillable buffs. When counterattack, will attack 3 times instead. So, okay. And then our last choice is Fallen Silver Heart from the Sylvan Watchers. He has a attack aura in all battles. His passive, for each Sylvan Watcher ally on the team, including this champion receives 10% less damage from AoE attacks and ignored defense attacks against this champion are 10% less effective. Whenever this champion attacks, has a 30% chance to turn weak hits into normal hits. This chance increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. On his A3, attacks 1 enemy 2 times, The first hit has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has a 75% chance of placing a block passive skill debuff for 2 turns. Then applies a debuff spread effect, taking all debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. Finally, attacks all enemies 1 time. This attack will ignore 20% of each target's defense. That was a big mouthful. On is A2, so he's a lockout. Attacks all enemies 2 times, deals 10% more damage to each enemy for each debuff on them. Will ignore unkillable and block damage. Attacks 1 enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of random debuff on the target by 1 turn. So they're all good choices, and so we've got 2 lockout champions. And honestly, I think I like this one. Probability of getting her, very, very slim. And it starts out with you gotta have a 15% chance on the first time you pull a legendary. And that's if you pull a legendary, which has a, let's see what it says for the, where's the info on that? Down here. So on Ancient Shards, we now have a 1% chance of pulling a legendary. So 1 out of 100. I've got 73. So I may get a legendary. I don't recall if I pulled any since the last time I pulled any other champions, pulled my last legendary. So I may not hit my Mercy yet. That's something I wish Plarian would include is where are you on the Mercy scale? But anyway, let me see here. Let me go ahead and get started because that's what you came here for. Now I've got 5 other accounts that we're going to go through. So I'm not going to take a lot of time on describing any champs that aren't legendary. Bunch of rares and 1 epic. Ugo, Lady Quillen, and Terror Beast. $50-something to go. Ooh, Lion's Guard Galatea. If I don't already have it, that's a good one to pull. Pharsalis, Grave Dirt. Durogen. Ripper. And 30-something to go. Steel Skull. Shaman. Wretch. If I don't get a champion, a legendary, I might just Wretch. Second Terror Beast. Okay, here we go. Oh, good. A Mad Hatter. Really good pull. All right, Tidemaster. Dexicos. That's another good one to fill up my roster for Argonites. So let's see if you're familiar with Mad Hatter. He's a really good champion. I don't think I have him on this account. I have him on one of my accounts. I know that. Actually, he starts off with a ally accuracy by 60 aura in all battles. Is that passive? Time for tea. Every 10 turns taken by allies heals all allies by 20% of their max HP. Every 6 turns taken by enemies places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Skill will not activate on duplicate copies of this champion, even if he's dead. On the A3, increases the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn, and decreases the duration of all debuffs on all allies by 1 turn. He may find a place in my definitely in my Hydra teams, but also maybe in I'll pull a replacement on my clan boss team. See if he can fit in there. On his A2, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a Hex debuff and a 25% weaken debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. The ally with the highest crit damage will team up and join the attack. The ally joining the attack will use their default skill. The damage dealt by the ally joining the attack will increase by 10% per each debuff on the target. On is A1. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of stealing 1 random buff. Each hit also has a 75% chance of applying a debuff spread. Taking my face. Taking 1 random debuff from the target and placing it on all enemies under a Hex debuff. Alright. So there's 1. And let's see what we're left with. We've got another 13 to go here. It would be very, very almost impossible to get another one. But now we're up to 20 times extra. I don't think I've ever pulled the champion on the progressive chance. Maybe once in 6 years. All right, last 10 shard pull, and then we're going to go to the last 3. All right, 2 more epics, and let's do the last 3. Yeah, you never know on those. I've oftentimes gotten a legendary on the last 3. All right, that's it for this. We have 1 legendary champion. Is he new? If I can get rid of all the advertisements. Some of my Valerian Chase here. Knights Revenant. We have the Hatter. Yep, he's new to this account. And then on the Argonauts, who was new? Both of them were new. Dexicos and Galatea. And she's a pretty good epic champion here. Passive has before attacking, has a 25% chance of removing any decreased attack debuffs from this champion and replacing them with their mirrored buff equivalent. Also has a 25% chance of removing any increased defense buff on enemies and replacing them with their mirrored debuff equivalent. A 3 attacks all enemies, will ignore 15% of the target's defense if they are spirit affinity, will ignore 25% of the target's defense if they are any other affinity. Activates the Apex Slice skill on a random enemy whose HP was decreased by more than 50% from the skill. Occurs once per skill. So she hits you with this one, and it reduces your HP down to 50%, or was decreased by 50%. She'll hit you again with this one, which is attacks one enemy, places a block revive debuff on the target if the target is killed, and fills the champion turn meter by 30%. On her A1, attacks one enemy, places an extra hit if the target is under decreased defense debuff, decreases the target's turn meter by 10%. And she doesn't put any decreased defense debuffs herself, so unless it's like this one where she mirrors it. And then the other Argonite Tidemaster Dexicos, he has an aura of ally HP in all battles, 20%. His passive, at the start of this champion's turn, places a shield buff for one turn on all allies whose HP is less than 100%. So he won't do it on his first turn unless he goes second. The value of the shield is equal to 15% of the receiving champion's max HP. On his A3, he's a reviver, revives 2 random allies with 40% HP and 20% turn meter. Heals all allies by 15% if this champion's max HP. Will heal all allies even if no allies were revived. Places a perfect veil buff on all allies except this champion for one turn. Will place the buff even if no allies were revived. So that's a lot of times the revivers there. A3 is basically useless for most of a fight unless somebody's dead. On the A2, attacks all enemies, places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Damage is based on attack. Why? Why not on defense or HP? Damage is based on ATK. All right, and on his A1, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit heals the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of this champion's max HP. So he's a good support champ. Not sure how you want to build him. I guess you want to give him attack. So we're building out the Argonites here with the epics and rares, but still Pelops missing any legendaries. Pelops is who I've got on the other account, and that's who that one champion that's available in the 15X. That's who he would counter. See where I'm at on this tournament. Champion Chase. Got us some goodies here. Oh, 4th. That probably won't last long. Because I'm not going to be pulling anymore. except for mystery shards. Now, I think I saw it may change. The 2x might change on Sunday. Boy, these tournament servers are so slow. All right, well, we're going to go on to the next account. And so hold on while I change out. And while you're waiting for the next account to come up, it's a good time to hit the like and subscribe buttons. In order for any YouTube video to be monetized, you have to have, I think it's like 13,000 subscribers who and regular viewers. That has quite a bit. I haven't done the dailies yet on this one. So all this stuff is going to pop up. Let me go ahead and get it shared. All right, no extra shards here. Oh, I get a free draw. Let's see what I get on a free draw. There's some questions about what you get on this. I think if you're only playing on a mobile device and you're not using Plarium and Play, you don't get this. Not the you won't get the well, you might get this free draw, but you won't get like what I get in the shop. Every 24 hours, you get a free silver ticket. At least that's what I've discovered from the Channel Zero chat this morning. Okay, so now I've only got 12 on this one. We're going to try her again and see if we get anything. Moving fast. All right, Spider and Ugo. That's about it. 2 more pulls. Yeah. All right. So not much there. Nobody knew. I'm going to have to come back to this account later to finish up the dailies. All right. Back to my mug. So, anybody do anything interesting this week? I got a bug on my screen. Yeah, another free draw. When you use the silver key, most of the draws are going to be up here. When you use a gold key, most of them are going to be down here. I got a gold one a couple of days ago. Now I had been spending these as soon as I got them, but I started to hang on to them because knowing Plarium, they will come up with some kind of event competition where you have to draw these tickets. I just know it. All right, I've got 984 gems. I am going to use them in the shop to get another 11 shards. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. We now have 51 shards, so that'll be 5 plus 1. And here we go. You know what I didn't do? I picked the wrong thing. That's for sure. Let's try that again. Got a few mystery shards saved up. Not even an epic. There's one. Yeah, there's End of Moonbeam. That's 2. Phoenix Hate Flower. Talia. Okay. That's 3, I think. Or was that 4? Acolyte of the Slither. Ah, Stonebound Thisbe. That's a good epic right there. One more. Oh, yes, we got one. Oh, too bad. Little Hagbane. Not a very great champ. But we'll go over her kit. Okay, so she's a partner with one of the other champs, Hansel. Increases ally attack in all battles by 30%. Passive fills this champion's turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. And if Hansel Witch Hunter is on the same team, also fills their turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. Active effect. If Hansel is on the same team and is killed by the enemy, instantly activates the Sacred Rituals skill. I have yet to pull a Hansel on any of my accounts. A 3. The Sacred Ritual. Attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 25%. If Hansel is on the same team, decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 50% instead. This effect cannot be resisted. Then fills this champion's turn meter by 20% for each enemy alive after the attack. Hurry 2 attacks one enemy 4 times. The first hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense. The second hit will ignore 15% of the defense. The third hit will ignore 20% of the defense. And the fourth hit will ignore 25%. If the attack kills an enemy, resets cooldown of this skill and fills this champion's turn meter by 50%. A1 attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decrease defense debuff for 2 turns. If Hansel is on the same team, attacks all enemies instead. Has a 25% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Also places an extra hit against enemies under any buff. All right, so far we are batting 2. That's not bad. It's not the greatest champ, but not, it's a legendary. Got one more to pull. Let's see what we get. And another rare. Cudgeler. All right, on to the next. Okay, let's see. Nothing special. I just want to hit some red dots. Yep, definitely got to come back to this one. Okay, that was on Prince. I got Lord next. Takes a minute to load. Okay, here we go. Get all the pop-ups here out of the way. See if I have any extra blue shards to buy. Green ones are always tasty. I think I've already done my quests on this one. I have. Don't have enough gems to buy any more. So what we have is 49. So that's 4 10 pull, 4 10x pulls and 9 single pulls. All right, here we go. Have any of you guys pulled on this 2x? If you have, and you've gotten any legendaries, let me know what you got. All right, so on the first one, we've got Claude the Beast Feeder and Sanguinia. Second pull. We get Siege Hulk. And that was Marquez. She's a epic, wasn't she? I can't remember. Third pull. Tyrell used to be a OG good champion. Now he's kind of just on the wayside. All right, fourth pull. Lodric Falconheart, Defiled Sinner, and Grush the Mangler. All right, we got 9 more singles to pull here, so let's see what we can get. Can we get a legendary? We get Jarang. And a rare. And the rares keep coming. Jarang's Buddy. 4 more to go. Doop, doop, doop. Rotting Mage. Food. All right. Looks got 1 more to go. And another epic. Hey, whoopee. Steel Skull. All right, no joy on this account. We have 1 more to go and possibly a third with a couple. I mean, a second with a couple. Alrighty, and changing accounts. This coming Tuesday, we have Clan versus Clan, and it does have personal rewards. Now, I may have to be pulling some of my other shards to win that, or try to win it. Yeah, I got something in the shop, and yep, here's the silver ticket. Ooh, I got an extra shard for sale there. Oh, never mind. Those are paid ones. Not a freebie. No freebies. Freebie would be down here in the market. And no such thing. And I don't have enough gems to buy another 11. So we're just going to pull. And I've got 41 here. So we got 4 10 pulls and 1 1 pull. Let's make sure we do the right thing again. Last chance. Or next to last chance. All rares. All rares. Clarium says you've had enough. Hey, got a epic Magnar. Pretty decent epic there. Rush the Mangler. Okay. Well, and we have 1 more to pull. And that's it. All right, I've got 1 more thing to try, 1 more account with a couple extras on it. Probably not going to pull anything, but we'll just give it a try anyhow, right? Gotta make sure I get the right one. Got my new account, which I've recently gotten some legendaries, but I don't think I've pulled any. Yeah, I think I did. I pulled Vault Keeper, but that was on the Vault Keeper was on the what was it? The white. What are the white shards called? These right here. The prism shards. So I got lucky and pulled him. Could have wished I gotten a couple of different ones, maybe that one or that one. But Wishlow is certainly a good pull. All these are good. Epics, not bad. And let's see. Let's see. Okay, Valorant, he came from the from the from the event, and Pelops is from the promotion code. So yeah, I have not pulled a legendary yet. I've got 3 to try, and who knows? Maybe the Plarium gods will smile on me. Another Argonite. Crimson Slayer. And another rare. Oh well. Hey, you gotta try it. If it's a 2x, you gotta do for it. I did get one primal shard, so that'll be on the list of things to do in the future. I did get one of these. I got him. Need to get him to 50, but that's going to be a while because he's the only one I've got. And it's coming along. The new account is coming right along. I've got it up to level 32. I think I've already done the dailies for this one already. Just keeping things going. Think about a new account. Every time you do a pull, you're likely getting a new champion. What did I get? Mm-hmm. And lizards. Yeah. Undead hordes. Yeah, all these are the greens. All right, there's one new Crimson Slayer. Unless I got another green one. And I got a Yucky Dwarf. The Dolor. Hey, at least that's something. So now I got 2 dwarfs. When it opens up, I can do the. I've got things I've got to wait. This is the level 42. Got to wait for that. Campaigns. I'm up to hard. Got my 3 stars on number 9. That'll be the next thing to work on to get that. Dungeons. I finally reached my week up on this, so now I'm back to the normal schedule. All the dungeons are open except for this and this, both at level 38. And we have Faction Wars. They're open now. We have Dark Elves and Sylvan Watchers today. Arena. These won't open until I hit level 50 and level 35. But on Classic Arena, I hit silver. I must have lost on the defense. And Arbiter has to tell me all about it. Yeah, I lost a couple of defenses. Of course, I only put him in there. I want to try to stay at a level that is equal to my strength. If I start pushing it and getting higher levels, I start losing, and that's not compatible with gaining, getting ahead. Excuse me. Getting Great Hall filled out. So I've got 66 there. I need to do something with ATKs for one of the. I don't think it's a mission. Lesser Void potions from stage. Okay, so that's not what I need. Maybe it's challenges. Upgrade an ATK bonus for all affinities. Yeah. So I've got an ATK bonus that I need to do except for Void. So let's go ahead and do that. I want that one. On to the next one. All right, so dungeons and arena. On clan bosses, I've got the Demon Lord open. When I started a clan, and it quickly grew. Got plenty of people coming in here now. Want to go ahead and get this killed. The easy. We've got a couple of people doing hard, but we're not getting very far. So we've got two keys. Here's my current team. Working on building out the regular Wixwell team. So I've got Wixwell and Valerie already. And so far, it's doing pretty good. I get 3 million, maybe 4. Yeah, 4.5. And do that again. So that'll be about 9. Nope, almost 9. 11. So total on 3 keys so far is 11.23. Hopefully by the end of by the morning reset, it'll be killed and we can get to the 2 chests. But Hydra's not open yet, and Chimera's not open yet. I got another level to go to start working on Chimera. And what else? Doom Tower opens at level 40. Cure City at 52. Siege, we're not eligible yet. And then Grim Forest at 55. So that's where we are on the new account. Still working on the fusion warm-ups here on the events. Oh, that's good. I needed that. Got some 125 energy. Corrupted Coalition events, 3 days to go. And I have 1,600 points. So you see I've already gathered that. And I got this one, Gear Hunters. Okay. I was able to make one relic in the forge today. I don't have any materials left. Relics take a while. So this is all I've got left. I got. This is what I got today. What I made. HP plus 900. So he's not HP. He's HP, but I've got an attack on him, and I don't want to remove it. If I unequip, it'll cost me 80. I don't think I have 80. No. It's 79. I've got 1 star stone. So until Chimera opens up, I won't be able to get that for very much. I have 192 or 1.92 million. Now I've got 244 energy. Just working on it. It's a work in progress. I do have my mine going. I've got it up to level 3. I've got, I believe, 1 more level to go. Gives me a little faster, a little bit more per day. Once that gets going, then I'll start earning getting those 900 shards to get more pulls. All right. Well, there you have it. We have 2 different accounts. Got legendaries. Most everybody else got epics. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But most time you choose between the 2. All right, people. We're going to call it a night. It's been a great hour. Glad to see you. And Papaschu, talking to you from the forest. Peace out.